All right, let's make a video about Christian Watson. I was actually surprised to learn I hadn't made an off-season video about him yet. I feel like I've talked about him so much, but never given him his full season-ended video. And so I want to talk about the unique player that he is and maybe what he could do for the Packers in the Jordan Love era. So let's start off with a Jordan Love play, the one that I'm kind of, if you listen to the podcast, I've kind of made some jokes about Jordan Love and that, people say he's shown flashes. He's really just done this one play that was mostly Christian Watson. That's most of what we've seen in the NFL. Not to say he can't be successful, of course, but, this is the main thing that really helped, bolster Jordan Love's stats a little bit. The way it's designed to work is it's going to be a route where Watson's going to go over the middle. You run to play action to get linebackers to move further in. Hopefully you can hit him. As you see, Love is going to throw the ball to Christian Watson on this play. Pretty simple stuff. Watson's able to get some yards. But here's where kind of the value of Watson comes in. And I think, debate with wide receivers like Watson is a very raw prospect that mostly dominated against low level of competition, but has the physical talent to really thrive. And if he can sort of put it all together and grow at the NFL level, could he be a superstar? Because right here, I think a good wide receiver makes this catch, but gets tackled not too long after. However, Christian Watson's able to completely blow by, and he's going to end up finding a way to get into the end zone here. This is just speed, and at the end of the day, speed matters a lot at the wide receiver position. One of the reasons, it's not as important as it is at the, corner position because just the reality is there are several ways you can get open. If you're, not the fastest but have great route running like a Jarvis Landry, for example, then you can still be successful and still find ways to get open. But if you have that speed and then you can do the other stuff to get yourself open, well, then that allows you to blow by guys and turn 20-yard gains into 60-yard touchdowns. And this next play is the real way you can take advantage of that, where what's going to happen is it's going to be a one-on-one matchup on the outside. So this is something that, again, to tell the story of the Packers season, for the most part, was that relatively early on to the season, the Packers started off looking pretty good, but teams started realizing, wait a second, you guys don't have receivers. Well, let's challenge your downfield passing game, which for a team that has Aaron Rodgers, that's a risky thing to start playing defense against. But the reality is, they just didn't have guys who could win on the outside consistently. They tried Lazard in that role. He was able to, do okay, but that's just not what he should be doing consistently, maybe 1 or 2 times a game, not, 5-6 times a game. But eventually, Christian Watson got healthy. He was the one who was able to then step into that role, and that kind of turned the Packers season around. And again, people forget, they nearly made the playoffs last year despite that awful start, and a huge part of it was Watson being successful on plays like this. One-on-one matchup, single safety deep, can he win on the outside? We'll watch. As you see, he's able to, get the inside leverage and then again, just use his speed. He blows by, he's able to make the catch, and the, corner falls down, he gets into the end zone for a touchdown. That is the kind of thing that Watson brings to the table. And you know what? There's so much value in that because the reality is part of what made the Packers receiving core look so bad was they didn't have someone who could do exactly that. That's all you need, in this situation is someone who can do that. Because once you get a guy who you have to double team, it just opens up everything else. And for Jordan Love, I do think he could hit some of those deep shots. I do. I think he has the big arm, and that's something I'm very intrigued in watching as both of their young careers start to develop. Like this play is another one where, again, it's going to be just a pure one-on-one matchup. A little bit different, though, in the sense of, it's not like he's just using pure speed. It's going to be over the middle, so you have to be a little bit more clever in how you run this route. But watch what he does. Watch how he kind of fakes it. He was going over the middle, but then goes to the outside, but then goes back over the middle. That gives him enough separation. Rodgers makes the throw, and they're able to get back into the end zone for a touchdown. And with Watson, this is, I think, really exciting if you're a Packers fan because the issue was how raw he was, right? The reality is at the college level at North Dakota State University, which, again, for those who don't know, they're basically like the greatest dynasty of all time at college Division I AA. It's almost like if there was, I don't know, it feels like if there was like an SEC level team that was playing in, in Division I AA. Like it's not quite that extreme, I'm sure, and someone who, watched a lot more of that could maybe describe it better. But basically, they always win championships, or usually do. They're always going up against much weaker competition, and Christian Watson was always just running right by everybody, which was like, okay, cool. Good that he can do that, but will it work at the NFL level was the question. But now that we're seeing him go up against better competition and he has to do other things to try and get himself open, the fact that he is capable of doing those other things is what gets you excited and makes you think that maybe he could even get better and better. It works in smaller ways too. This play, he's going to just flash over from the offense's right to the offense's left, so towards the top of the screen, just the underneath route here. That's all he's doing. Watch how when this play begins, you see where he's at. And again, this is definitely something that the Packers will do, and it's something that, could help out a young quarterback in Jordan Love to have a guy like Watson. He is, underneath here, but still, the way this play looks right now, doesn't appear as though it's going to get super open, right? I mean, sure, the completion seems like a given, but it could only go for a couple of yards. But no, Watson's going to make the catch. He's going to turn the corner, and he is going to get past the first down marker. Took a big hit towards the end there, but still, you'll take it for the first down. And that's what Christian Watson brings to the table. So he does little things as well. It's not just the big splash plays, although I will acknowledge that that is the most exciting thing about him and the best thing about him. But he can do other things. And again, he's young. Maybe he could even, do more stuff. Like this play's another example where it's cover 2 zone right here, right? So, okay, typically, you see the route he's running, typically a pretty simple route. Just get to your spot. That's how a lot of guys run this. But Watson, I think, does more than just that, which is part of why I think he's going to continue to grow and get better and could be an elite wide receiver in this league, perhaps. Watch how right when this play begins, you see him get past the players covering the middle of the field area, but there's still a safety deep. So what do you do to maximize how open you can get? One thing you could do is just turn around right now, basically. Get to your spot as quickly as possible. Rodgers hits you right away. Not necessarily maximizing how open the window is, but just getting to the window right now when it is open and making sure there is a window. Watson's going to take a different approach, though. Watch him fake as though he's going down and then gets up, which allows that window to just really expand and made it an easier throw for Rodgers. And again, for a young quarterback in Jordan Love, who has really not played much of any NFL football, having a guy who can do this should be great. So I think you could maybe argue that you want to see this stuff a little bit more consistently with Christian Watson. I wouldn't say consistency has been his overwhelming strong suit so far, but again, part of it has just been staying healthy. It took him a while to really fully integrate into the offense. It wasn't really until that Dallas game, week 10, that he kind of was given that role of being the outside threat, and that kind of turned around the Packers season in a big way. And so, from that point on, he had at least 45 yards in every single game except for one of them, and that was a 41-17 victory over Minnesota. And he had 3 100-plus yard games in that 8-week stretch, which was definitely, obviously that is very good. That's something you like to see, especially when he also had 7 touchdowns in that stretch as well. Again, it's impossible to say where is his career going to go from here. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, he's definitely done, a lot of really good stuff. And I should mention, had a rushing touchdown in that stretch as well. So 8 total touchdowns in the final 8 games of the season. Definitely looking like he could be, at least an 1,000-yard receiver come next season if things go well. At least that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.